Welcome back to Sunny Morning. Joining me here live is Silvia Reza.
Exactly, that is me.
Great to have you here, Silvia.
Thank you, Elliot.
And thank you as always, for imparting all your knowledge and special skills in terms of breaking down our news. The other news topic I wanted to discuss with you today is that in Mexico right now, we've just seen results of the 2014 sales tax on sodas, and according to the sales reports, last year fizzy drinks in Mexico sales actually declined. So this is the first time this has happened since before the sales tax was imposed. And kind of what I wanted to ask you is, do you think it's because consumers are sensitive to the pricing and the inflation, or is it something else going on? Is consumer taste changing in Mexico?
Well, as far as the sales being dropped, right?
Yeah.
Well, it's probably about exactly the price. But the reason why they keep the consumption, because still, we're one of the town with more obesity records. And one of the reasons is because of the soft drinks, of course. So there's still a lot of consumerism in Mexico about that. And one of the reasons why, Elliot, is because every human being, it doesn't matter where they are from, we have habits. Habits create patterns. Yeah. And of course, patterns can create addiction sometimes. So have you heard of somebody drinking a huge soft drink, without saying any particular names, but could be any?
Yeah.
And then, so they can drink, instead of water, they have like a 2 gallon of that drink per day.
2 gallons? Well, I mean, I read that in one serving of a regular, say a 600 milliliter bottle of soda, it contains 9 teaspoons full of sugar. I mean, if I had a glass here, I'd be saying about that much sugar, and that's 1 a day. I mean, 2 gallons, what does that do to your body?
Well, exactly, that's the question. Now, psychologists, they have made actually some experiments about the sugar and the effect in the body and the effect in the brain. And as you know, we produce some chemicals in our brain. So there's this part of the brain that produces dopamine with sugar. And normally anything that creates pleasure in a human being creates dopamine. All right? Okay. And that's the beginning of a possible addiction. So that's one of the reasons why a lot of people keep really, regarding the price, of course, they keep trying to get into their habit, which is drinking those sodas. And of course, we have obesity.
Now, the drinks companies are fighting back because they're saying, okay, they're realizing that sales are reversing, consumers are getting more savvy, and thanks to people like you educating the consumer and saying there are alternatives, the soft drinks companies have come back with, hey, you can always drink the zero sugar version. We're not taking responsibility for the obesity in Mexico because we already have another product range out there. We've got zero, we've got calorie free, because they're trying to obviously appease the lobby, right, that's going on. But for somebody that really likes the full sugar, full fat version, I mean, what could you prescribe? What kind of help can somebody wean themselves off, a high sugar drink?
Pay attention to marketing, and marketing is very impressive with the soft drinks branches, because of course, once you see the huge thing going on and you want to drink one of those, right? Especially if they present them to you like really cold and sweaty, right? Like,
yeah,
oh yes,
bottle,
I want to have that.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm going to share with you a little tip for you whenever that happens to you, that you really want to get into drinking something that you would not be making a smart decision, okay, for your health. So let's pretend that this is one of your favorite soft drinks, right? And let's pretend that this is just a natural glass of water, okay? So our mind is very literal. Everything you tell to your mind makes a representation and physiologically in your body in general. So taking advantage of this matter, listen to this, pay attention. So every time you see your soft drink, your favorite soft drink, which is going to create dopamine, it's going to create pleasure on you, then what you need to do is look at it like if it was, what could it be? Oil, Elliot?
Oil.
Let's say oil, gasoline, something that you can't drink, something like, think about it. Close your eyes for a moment and think about saying, well, I'm going to drink this glass of oil or gasoline or I mean, can you actually feel your body inside of you, how it's like rejecting like the some, that's the only idea of saying, oh, I want to drink this oil, is like, right? You don't want it. You don't want it. Your system, your whole body physiologically rejects 100% that. And this beautiful, delicious glass of water, that I drink a lot of water, I promise, I know that. However, but I know that it's very difficult for a people to actually not to drink, to drink water, natural water. So what I recommend is all the way around. What do you like? Let's say that you like lemonades. Let's say that you like apple juice. So well, just imagine, okay, I am gonna drink this delicious apple juice with me. Your brain is gonna make the representations of the smell and the aroma of the apples and the taste of the lemonade or whatever you actually want to make a representation of it. And then you start drinking it. I promise you, you are going to feel the taste even though it's just natural water. You are cheating your mind, yes, but you are making yourself a huge favor. And then you don't gain weight.
So therefore, you've been doing it for years. Since you're a kid, you've been drinking, sugar drinks, trying to get off of it. You think it's really then possible psychologically to reprogram, remaster your way of thinking.
Exactly.
So this is a breakthrough. This is a simple technique, a simple exercise. You can start right away. Right? You can start that type of process immediately. It costs you nothing. And again, probably try it in stages, right? Like do it a week at a time or a couple of days and just change the daily pattern a little bit, right?
And then when you change it, then it's going to be all the way around. Your brain is going to be producing dopamine when you are drinking water. And it's going to totally reject the other drink.
Hey, and guess what?
It's not do anything good to you.
Yeah. I bet that works as well. That particular technique could probably work would it work if you wanted to give up smoking or give up something else?
It's very similar.
Is it?
Also with a diet. It's very, very similar to a diet. Like when you really want to get rid of the habit of eating so much of, cakes or something that, a lot of people is used to hamburgers, pizzas, or something
just
really like.
Kick that out of the system.
So it's difficult for people to actually do that, but most of the time also because they have resistance to go over that, because they don't really want to. Subconsciously there is something pulling you, right? Pulling you back, like saying no, just tomorrow. Well, let's leave it for tomorrow.
Well, that's right. We're going to be covering something about motivation later on in the week with you, right?
Yes,
we're going to talk about finding motivations to do things. So this would be a good example, right?
Yes.
So and I'm thinking, because we know perhaps that economically Mexico had a difficult year last year. Inflation went up so high. Consumers were hit with gas increases, electrical increases. Some people on natural gas ended up paying 50% more than they were normally paying. So on utilities costs, something goes. That, for me as an economist, is really kind of interesting to see that price elasticity, how people finally, they have to give something up at the core level, and that was soda. So, but if the economy improves and if we don't take these lessons on board, we're going to hit this problem, what we mentioned. This statistic worries me. $20 billion in soda sales by 2022, to me is a big no-no. We've got to get this obesity problem under control. We've got to get people more educated, give them the tools, as you're giving us, to basically take that control, right? And make that decision.
And actually, those soft drinks companies, really, what they could do, instead of making poison for everybody, that's how I call it, poison, instead of do that, since they sell so much, why don't create, like a really nice drink, like a natural drink or something really healthy for people with flavor, but not with so much stuff that it just damage everybody's body and brain.
I'd love for those drinks companies to put liquidizers in schools here in Mexico, so kids could bring their own fruit, papaya, mamey, and they could blend their own drinks every single day and have a healthy option. What would it cost those companies to put a healthy option and take away all those stands where they've got kiosks outside the schools here? Because kids are running headlong into that problem.
Exactly.
Take care of it in the classroom, right? And at break time. would be a
That's
great
idea.
initiative. So, I mean, there's loads of ideas. We want you to write to us with ideas that you're seeing in your communities. We'll publish them. We'll talk about them here on Sunday morning. Stay with us. We're going to go to a short commercial break. But after the break, we've got Silvia's top story. What are we going to talk about?
Well, how to make relationships work. Stay with us.
Stay with us for that. And also, stay with us for Day Off. You're going to love it. Shaq and Reza are going to talk to you all about parasailing here in Cancun. We'll see you after the break.